Hello, welcome to another episode of New to Weeaboo. This is episode number 6 for the month of July. I'm Nemesis, and I'm joined by Alcatraz here.
Hey.
Yeah, as we said last month, we are talking about Kill la Kill.
Oh boy.
This time around, because it's timing is actually good because in a few weeks they're releasing the Kill la Kill game, and they just put up the Mako Figma for pre-order. So yeah, Kill la Kill's gotten a bit of a resurgence lately for some reason or another.
For some reason or another.
So yeah, we'll go ahead and just, I guess, get right into this one, because why not?
What else do we do?
I don't know, we could... what was the thing I was saying? Well, there's that one thing that's been going on in Evangelion, but we'll probably get to that a little bit
We'll probably
later.
get to that because we're going to have to talk about all of Evangelion.
Yeah, a little later. Whoops. Spoilers. But yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I guess we could also talk about how much of a clown Vic is, but...
Oh, yes.
And his lawyers.
Always a fun topic.
Boy, I'm just watching this. This is train wreck, and I am enjoying every moment of it. But anyway, Kill la Kill, though. If you don't know, this is an anime that came out, I believe, in 2014, so it's been a while.
It has been a while.
So, yeah, it came out in actually late 2013 to early 2014, so it's been a bit. For whatever reason, it's kind of getting a small resurgence for reasons, or who knows, maybe something coming in the future.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, but basically, it's about Ryoko Matoi, who is looking for the person who killed her dad.
Yep.
And she's going around, she winds up at Hinoji Academy, and winds up butting heads with Satsuki Kiryuin and her Elite Four. And then twists and turns happen as they fight, and we find out about life fibers and all that stuff.
Let me tell you about life fibers.
Yeah, it's also got a couple things. Probably we'll get into it over the course of this episode. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff to talk about on this one particularly, just because of the nature of this particular anime.
Clothes are evil and are trying to kill you.
Yeah. That's the whole thing. It's just that the clothes are a sentient alien life form that came and influenced humans' evolution so that they could have their
harvested.
Yeah, electric like nerve signals and all that stuff harvested, and then they'll use the people to wrap the ball in planting the ball of life fibers before exploding to send the life fibers elsewhere in the universe
to continue the process.
Yes, they consume like many of those weird parasitic alien species.
Yep,
just consume and move on. The Flood, the Beast, the Borg.
Yeah, at least the Borg, assimilated.
The Zerg. They just consume and move on. These ones just happen to be clothing.
Yes.
But yeah, it was Studio Trigger's like first major project. I mean, not counting Inferno Cop, but that's a weird one. That's a weird one because this was supposed to come out first, but Inferno Cop kind of coming out first or something like that. I believe correctly, but anyway, it was like Studio Trigger is mostly made up of a bunch of old ex-Gainax employees. So a lot of these people also worked on Tengen and Gurren Lagann.
Yes.
Back then. So there's a lot of in fact, the people who were in charge of this one were also in charge of that. So there's a lot of weird little similarities here and there.
Yep.
Not surprisingly on that. Like I said, it's got Ryoko Matoi. She's the main character. She's transfer student to Hinoji Academy, trying to find out who killed her dad. All that stuff. Got a scissor blade, this big old half a scissor shaped sword.
Yep.
And that was the weapon used to kill her dad. And so she's tearing around trying to find out who did it,
who done it.
And she suspects Satsuki, who has no problem letting her think that, at least initially. Satsuki Kiryuin, who is the student president, but essentially she literally controls the entire school. Period.
And all the other ones as well.
The principal doesn't have any power. He's just a
pawn, basically.
He's just there for the sake of having someone to fill the role.
Yep.
Someone has to be principal. There you go. Shut up. Get out of the way. And of course, Ryoko also meets Mako Makanshoku. Yeah, it's a bit of a hard. That's hard for me to pronounce that last name. Makanshoku. Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Makanshoku. Yeah.
But anyway, she's a goofy slacker. She meets and befriends and whatnot. And a whole bunch of other characters we'll get into. And of course, she winds up wearing Senketsu, who's living clothing.
Living clothing, yes.
Yeah, she wears him, and then they wind up powering up and fighting a bunch of the students at Hinoji who also have all Goku uniforms, which can give them powers and all this stuff based on their various club activities and whatnot. Yeah, it's a weird anime. It's weird. There's no way around it. It's anime as hell. Get out.
Oh, it is. It's glorious.
Yeah.
It is over the top, ridiculous as anime can be.
Yeah. I've said it before. It's big, loud, and stupid, and it knows it and revels in it.
Oh yes, it's wonderful.
That's the thing is
it knows it makes no sense.
It even says as such. It says nonsense is kind of who we are. That's like an actual line in there.
Yes, it's great.
Yeah, it was to get the villain just going, why you stop being so nonsensical? Nonsense is who we are. It's like, yeah, okay. It's like, yeah, they're just fully admitting that this whole thing is stupid. Let's just roll with it.
Just go for it.
Yeah. But yeah, the whole central thing is like, yeah, the clothing is evil thing is like, that kind of, oddly enough, is where its biggest problems come from.
The clothing part, yeah, it's... I guess you want to start with the problems first, get those out of the way.
It's at least half the discussion going to be about this because it's the biggest thing there.
Right.
It's going to be the thing people talk about when it comes to Kill la Kill.
Yeah, because it's so blatant. It's so right. It's kind of the leading point.
Which is because what Ryuko when she gets to transform to battle and stuff, it turns into this hyper revealing outfit where it's like this really short skirt. You can see
super skimpy and
super skimpy with like the straps and under boob and all that stuff.
Might as well not cover anything.
It barely covers anything.
Yeah,
and that's kind of in universe. It's kind of the point to a degree.
Yeah, they explain it so it quote makes sense.
Yeah.
But
yeah, the whole thing is like, so the problem is it's the show is constant fan service basically. It's unending. I mean, I think the episode that has the least amount is literally the first one because the transformations didn't show up till the very end of it.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing,
but at the same time it also mocks it.
But here's the thing. Yeah, there's a whole thing about that which I want to be able to say my whole piece before you jump in on this because I know there's certain phrases I will say that you'll jump in on. So I want to make sure to say the whole thing beforehand.
Okay, get your spiel out of the way.
Because the whole thing, let's be real, it is fan service. It is blatant. It's in your face. There is no way around it or out of it or anything. It is a turnoff for a lot of people, period, yes. Because it is kind of gross.
Yeah.
It's particularly since they're in high school.
Yes.
That's one of the biggest things. And it doesn't help that the outfit designs, the camera angles, the poses they strike often are all there to accentuate certain parts of the body.
Yep.
And it's mostly Ryuko and Satsuki who are the ones who
they're the ones who focus. Wear the movies as well.
Mako occasionally, but for the most part, it's just those two.
Yeah.
And their outfits in particular make sure to emphasize that. And the thing is, the defense for it often ends up being it's ironic or satirical. Those are the two common defenses for it in general. But the thing is, well, the irony thing is often is the good old phrase, if ironic fan service is still fan service.
Yep.
And the other thing is the satirical thing, which I do believe it kind of was supposed to be satirical. But the problem comes in, well, satire is supposed to be, in a kind of an extreme take. It's supposed to be taking things to an absurd extreme to highlight how ridiculous the position is or whatever, or a situation, or whatever. Most my famous example probably being A Modest Proposal. Okay, you can take things to an extreme to highlight how ridiculous things are. And let's be real, in anime, fan service is kind of ridiculous sometimes. Yeah. I mean, it comes up frequently over the course of this podcast. Is I think every single time we bring it up in some fashion, and of course it's going to be here as well. The thing is, with satire, the problem is it's nigh indistinguishable from the real thing if it is satire, and that is the problem. If you can't distinguish satire from the real thing, is it really satire anymore? Or if it is, it's not good satire.
And then you have the problem of Poe's law coming into play.
Yeah, it's like that's the thing is like if it's not good satire, then what's the point?
Yeah,
it just kind of becomes more noise it just adds more noise to the whole situation.
Yeah, satire.
It's difficult.
Yeah, if you can't tell that it's satire, the satire has not done its job.
Yeah. And that's the problem. You could argue that the problem became, well, it's not necessarily the shows or the people who made the show's fault. It's possible they had every intent of doing satire. The problem is anime has gotten so extreme about its fan service that it just blended in. You could argue that's the problem. It's not necessarily the show. The show tried to take it to an extreme. The problem is anime already went there. So it's like there's
It's
no
not
more
an
extreme to go
anymore.
There's no more extreme to go. It's already there. So what can you do? You can't really satirize it anymore real easily. I mean, because the thing is, I see there's hints and pieces there that it is supposed to be satire, like because of dialogue and whatnot.
Yeah, especially in the first time it's revealed. Really,
yeah, and like a lot of the dialogue just kind of openly mocks it. Like they show this is a ridiculous outfit. That's the whole point. This outfit characters pretty much comment. This is a ridiculous outfit. It looks dumb and stupid.
Yeah, it's they sort of lampshaded it to a degree when they show it up there and then acknowledge, yes, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So because in other stuff where this sort of outfit exists, it's just normal. It's considered normal. Whatever. Who cares? No one ever comments on it or points it out or anything. But this one, it's like it's constantly they're pointing out how stupid it is or ridiculous it is, and it's like, I mean, and Ryuko initially is super embarrassed by it, and whatnot. Satsuki's like, I don't give a crap. I'm going to do anything I can to win.
Yeah. There is an interesting point to bring up with those, though, as more of like, what is the anime saying when it comes to those clothes and the ridiculousness of the outfits?
Yeah.
I've seen it mentioned a couple times in various comments here and there on it, and I'm not certain I agree, but I understand where the ideas come from. With one of the, I guess, the message of the show thing. So it's like a combination of different ways you could take it. One, the fashion industry is evil and you shouldn't listen to them, which, okay. The other one is be what you want to be.
Right.
And don't listen. You don't have to worry about what other people think, and be comfortable in your own body is the other one that I've seen mentioned, where that's the whole thing is to be comfortable in what you are and in your own body. And I do see that, because that is sort of the message. That is sort of what happens with like Matoi and Senketsu, to accept that. Because the whole thing was she was fighting Senketsu at the beginning and was not getting anywhere. But when they finally worked together and she accepted the whole thing and she was okay with it, they could work together.
Yeah.
So I do see where they come from on that one.
That's the thing, but at the same time, it's like it is
blatant fan service.
It doesn't help. Yeah, I think the biggest thing that really undoes it for them, like really
all the camera angles.
The camera angles specifically is really what really
we're
hurts.
We're gonna get the camera angle right up underneath the boobs and right up through. It's like
including the transformation sequences.
Shot.
The transformation sequences specifically are pretty bad about
those ones are always
they like straight up just jiggle around. Too.
Yep, it's like, wow, who turned on the fan? The high power fans. Flappy,
and of course, some people try to also argue, well, guys get naked too. Yeah, but they're not really not that focused on, except for Akiru,
who's always undressed. Yeah, and that one's always. I think every single time that Akiru does that, it's always played up as humorous. Yeah. It's always mocked and ridiculed.
Mm-hmm. That's the weirdest. It's the weirdest thing. Like it's weirdly enough, even the characters when they're more or less nude, and we got a lot that happens a lot because of nudist speech and stuff.
Nudist speech.
They still don't. It's not really. They're covered up to the point where you can barely tell anything. And versus Ryuko and Satsuki are both just out there.
Although Mako's little brother, there's a couple times like,
yeah.
Wait a minute.
That was one of those weird things. Where it's like how they treat that kind of nudity. It's like it's not sexual, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's like you drew the details.
Yeah, because it was painted, so technically it's not exposed. It's one of those weird things. Yeah, because he had it. There's a point where he was supposed to wear a tuxedo, and he sold it and just painted one on himself to get some money.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just that in of itself is strange. So yeah, the whole thing is everything there is just this it is gross and is basically it's one of those weird things where it's like, yeah, I can get like if you see that and like it turns you away, I can understand it's not going to get any better. If you watch the first episode, you see the outfit that Ryuko eventually wears by the end of it. It's like, yeah, if that upsets you, then don't even bother. And with the rest of the series, it's going to be just that constantly.
Yeah, don't bother with it, and I won't say you're wrong for not bothering with it. It's but
the other thing, if that is something that you can live with it, then you're kind of in for a crazy over-the-top ride.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. I think what carries this show, because if you look at the actual story, there's problems there too, unless the story kind of goes weird places and it gets kind of dumb and even contradicts itself a couple times.
Yes, but not making sense is their thing. Yeah. So
if you look at that, you can complain about that. But what drives this show are definitely all the characters, which a lot of the characters are a lot of fun to see in the various ways. Like Ryuko is just, well, Edge. Let's be real.
Yeah. She is Edgelord Supreme.
She is an Edgelord.
Yep.
In a way. I mean, sometimes, and other times she's
black and red and everything.
Yeah. But other times she's definitely not edgy at all.
Oh, yeah.
Because you see this, she has the softer moments too. Like, she just genuinely wants a family.
Yep.
Like, even before her dad died, she never knew her mom, and
there's a reason for that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. And her dad she and her dad just never really got along.
Yep.
She was sent off to boarding school, and she never really saw him, but you could tell she still cares about him because, well, she's freaking out over his death.
Got pissed when he got killed.
And then she got super pissed when she finally met the person who killed him.
When she thought she found it, or when she actually found
when she actually found the person who killed him. Oh, yeah, but so she's there like that. But she has a softer side. She clearly cares about Mako.
And Mako's family.
Yeah, at first she's really distant and standoffish and kind of, but eventually she winds up caring about them. Satsuki's a weird one because, like, she is very closed off. She's everything.
She is a brick wall.
Yeah, she's just like pure, and she goes like pure willpower doing things, like, because she wants it to be done, it will happen.
Satsuki levitates by power of anger alone.
Yeah, pretty much, and eyebrows.
And eyebrows. Oh, that's another thing I've been seeing comments on. It's like, oh, cause there's a whole, gotta have thin eyebrows to look pretty. And I was like, look at Satsuki. She's got huge eyebrows, and she's freaking awesome. You don't need thin painted on eyebrows to look awesome.
Yep.
You can be beautiful with massive eyebrows. It works.
Yeah, so she's the whole thing. She's just this iron will. Just you can't phase her.
Yeah,
she just barely
resolve. You cannot break her resolve.
Yeah, even when we even captured and chained up, she still has this resolution.
Yep. And she has a plan. She always has a plan.
Yep. Even it has to be modified a little bit.
Yep. She has a way out. She has backup plans.
Yeah, and as I said earlier, Mako is just a slacker.
Mako is an enigma.
Yeah. She's a slacker. She's a goofball. She does things that are impossible. She's weird and obviously doesn't quite understand a lot of situations, but still somehow.
But it doesn't stop her.
Winds up at almost the correct point.
Close enough
that at least something happens.
I'm kind of. She almost has more resolve than anyone.
Yeah.
But it's like, is this really resolve? It's like having courage and being afraid.
She's too stupid to be afraid.
You cannot be brave, and you cannot have courage if you are not afraid. So does Mako have resolve, or does she just not understand the gravity of the situation that she has found herself in?
I don't know.
Either way, it works for her, and it helps everyone else. So go Mako.
Yeah. I didn't even really touched on the Elite Four yet, because they're like,
oh man,
they're super loyal to Satsuki. They're like, you got
super loyal. You want to say
Uzu Sanagayama?
The Sanagayama is Gamagori, though. If you want to say loyal, Gamagori's got them all beat.
Yeah, yeah, but there's Hoka and Inamuda,
and Nonon.
Yeah, Nona Jakazuri. Nonon Jakazuri. Ira Gamagori, though, he's like
Ira Gamagori.
This is one of those things where the show really likes to play with the visuals. So Ira sometimes is literally larger than life.
Oh,
like
yeah.
He the first time we see him, he has to squeeze himself through this tiny doorways. He's massive, towering over everyone else.
His entire upper body fills the roof.
Yeah, he's like 20 feet tall. And then other times we see he's big, but he's not
that big.
He's
through doors.
He's big. He's
the biggest of all of them, but he still fits through doors.
Yeah, he's still a normal-sized human.
He is the oldest. He is 20.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
He waited Waited a couple years so he could
waited
actually
so
join.
he could go to high school.
So he could
with
be
Satsuki.
in the academy.
Yep. So he's 20 years old. So he's
one of the fastest. The other creepy part.
yeah, sort of.
His whole bondage thing.
Yeah, he's 20. It's fine.
Yeah, until he uses it on others.
Yeah.
Especially the final attack.
He's instilling discipline.
Yes, but that last really big whip.
Yeah. There's a lot of sex jokes. Not surprising.
Oh, there's tons of them.
Not surprising, really. But yeah, it's Gamaguri. He's kind of just like, I mean, again, he squeezes in this room, and then when it turns out this person who's trying to steal a Goku uniform is revealed, he runs out the door and he just jumps out a window. That is laughing all the way down.
That is one of the greatest. Just open, just every time he comes around the corner and the windows are there. Just
and almost everything he says is shouted.
Yep. Do not test the strength of his resolve. He will beat you.
Or not, depending.
Not even Satsuki could break his resolve.
No.
Not even Satsuki could make him kneel.
Yeah, but I just also like the bit where at the end it's just his face being imprinted on the rocket at the very end. It's like,
Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just fun how they just do that sort of thing. It's just playing with stuff like that. Jakazuri is also fun just because, well,
she's great.
She's very close to Satsuki, and she's like, her whole thing, she's the one who's known her the longest.
Yep. And the only one who will let that Satsuki will let go above her.
Yeah. Like the only one she'll actually Gamagori will see, Satsuki-sama, Lady Satsuki. Versus Jakazuri's just like Chan. Like, yeah, super, super close and everything. Like,
Yep.
Yep. And it vaguely implied that more than friendship going on there for Jakazuri's side anyway.
Yeah. Probably one-sided.
Necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Again, Satsuki's a very closed-off person. It's very difficult.
So it's hard to read. But I could say, like,
I'll ship it.
Yeah, but it would never happen during the course of the actual show because she's too serious, too focused.
But afterwards?
Afterwards, once she finally...
Everything's all done.
When she finally puts down her sword, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
When everything is said and done, and she can, be herself and open up again.
Sanagayama is an idiot.
Sanagayama.
Let me fight her! Let me fight her! I got my bamboo sword. Let me fight. And then he gets his eyes stitched to everything just because he's like, oh, I was too proud of myself. And then,
yeah,
it was that was a weird whole thing. Like he's moving, and then later he becomes kind of he just kind of gets clowned on constantly by everyone. Nui comes along, clowns. It's just like, get out of here, because he's like all reaching for a fight, and then nope. Dead.
Yep.
Well, not dead, but just thrown off the platform. Or just get out of the way.
Yep.
Get out of here, loser.
Yep.
You're in over your head again. Inamuda's kind of like, eh.
Yeah.
He's there. He's the hacker guy. He's hacker man.
Yeah, that's a weird one. Like, I'm super into tech. That's literally, I'm a professional, computer technician.
You're like, whatever. He's a whatever
I'm
character.
all about tech and stuff like that. And here's the tech character, and he's just kind of I don't really care.
He's kind of smug.
Yeah. Also, one of the little shticks that he's got that I've always found a little funny. He's got a giant collar that always covers his face, except when he talks, it clicks open so he can talk
you
close.
Hear it click.
It's great. His transformation for his suit's always just kind of weird. He's just, look, I can press buttons all over my body.
Keyboards
he can
everywhere.
Touch himself.
Hacker man.
Yeah, he's touching himself. That's his power.
Yeah, and they also can turn invisible.
That too. And the solution. God. The solution for when he turns invisible, what Matoi does. It's just giant pancake thing that she makes out of her suit.
Dodge.
Splats the whole thing.
And there's also he's not part of the Elite Four, but he's kind of important. Shiro Iori.
Oh yes, Iori.
President of the Soaring Club.
Yep, is the one making all of the
He's the one who makes
suits.
his uniforms and whatnot.
All of the uniforms.
And it turns out then, hey, he's got a 3-star uniform too.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
Never uses it in battle, if I remember correctly.
Nope, he doesn't use it until the very end when he's making uniforms at just hyperspeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's important, but like he doesn't actually do a whole lot in the actual story, but he's still important to it because without him, none of this happens.
Yep.
So it's kind of a weird thing.
He's the lead of the sewing club.
Yeah, and of course you got the various 2-stars, which are all interesting designs and whatnot.
You know, it's interesting because shortly after our last watch through, I went and watched the first episode again because I was looking up some details trying to figure out some details on the scissor blade. The first 2-star we see, the boxing guy.
Yeah.
It starts out like he's supposed to be important. He seems closer to Satsuki and the Elite Four than any of them. It's interesting. And then he gets defeated and we never hear about him again.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that sort of thing kind of happens a lot where this guy seems more important than he actually is.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if he was almost a runner-up for a 3-star at one point.
Could have been possible.
But who knows? Doesn't matter. He lost.
Yeah, and then there's the Mohawk guy.
The Mohawk guy.
Sumugu Kinagasi.
Yep. The Mohawk guy with his motorcycle.
Let me tell you 2 useful pieces of information.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's got his catchphrase.
Yeah, he's got his motorcycle and his needle guns and
needle guns it. He'll just make the Goku uniforms quit working.
Yeah, very much. That's his whole thing. Is I know how to make them stop.
Takes a lot more to stop a Kamui though.
I mean, his thing was he was there initially to actually take out Ryoko because of the Senketsu.
Yeah,
because it's a Kamui, it needs to be stopped. Well, it's all life fibers, and life fibers are evil. We need to stop it before she goes out of control.
Yeah,
and then he was convinced to stop because Senketsu pretty much just talked at him. It's don't you dare hurt her.
Yes,
because the whole thing was his sister was killed because of a life fiber thing.
Yes, because he was a scientist. Mm-hmm. He and her were scientists working with the person we haven't mentioned yet, Ragyo.
Yep, Ragyo.
In researching life fibers, and one of the experiments.
I don't think it was Ragyo. I think it was when she was working with Ishin.
Yeah.
With Toy.
I think it was
Ryuko's dad.
No,
they were working for Nudist Beach.
Yeah, that's what it was. But yeah, there was an experiment that went wrong, and she got killed. Mm-hmm. And she told him to don't stop.
Continue the experiment.
Which I guess he did. And went to avenge her instead. That's why we can. It's dude, at least follow your sister's dying wish.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Nope. I'm too angry.
And Nui Harimi.
Oh my god. Nui.
Worst girl.
Worst girl. Except I think she's supposed to be the worst, so...
Well, some people don't seem to think so, but they're wrong.
Yes, I think I know who you're talking about. The one person we know.
Yeah, she's a sociopath.
Oh my god.
She's insane. She also seems to be able to defy just how the rules work.
Yep.
There's a whole bit. They had a thing with it was a split screen thing with her and Satsuki talking to her. She just literally reaches across the line and just, even though they're a good several hundred feet apart, she just reaches across and starts playing with Satsuki's hair as she's right in front of her. And everyone's like, what in the world? Because imagine just how that would look to someone who's just there.
Couple different options. Either the arm could just disappear like an invisible portal and just kind of reappear somewhere else, or it just stretches out really far.
Yeah. Anyway, it's got to be alarming.
Yes.
Because that's the weird thing is that's also where they often kind of goof around with the animation, is where she does weird stuff that's looks cheap or whatever. They literally have just the character spinning in such a way that just...
Oh yeah, it's like a 2D spinning.
Yeah. They do stuff like that. They intentionally, this is where they often they'll use their limited budget to the most effect, is just using the stuff on Nui, just doing weird stuff.
Yep.
Or with Nui in general.
Nui.
Yeah, she's the grand courtier of the Kiruin family, or Revox
company, clothing company.
Yeah. Hey, look at it backwards.
Covers.
Well, it's S-cover, but whatever.
It's a scover. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's if they want to be right, it would be Srivok, but whatever.
Yeah. Whatever.
They're Japanese. It's probably just goofed it up.
Or it just they didn't like how it sounded.
It just sounds better this way. Or maybe they had a hard time pronouncing it, even harder time pronouncing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, Nui's she's the one who actually straight up killed Ryoko's dad.
Yep.
And she has the other half of the scissor blade.
Yep. In that episode.
Yeah, that's the whole thing, is she's all cutesy and stuff.
Always cutesy, even when things are going horrible. Like,
it's all funny to her.
Really, really bad.
Yep. I mean, her whole reveal was like, one of the things was like, she went into Sanagayama and just found the right fiber, plucked it, and made the whole uniform just completely destroyed.
Oh, what is the name of that?
I can't remember.
I'm trying to remember the name of because that specific fiber has a name.
Yeah.
It's basically the linchpin of the entire thing. It's the life fiber that has been given the will to live or something like that.
Yeah.
As opposed to the rest of the life fibers that it's made of.
Yep.
And it becomes a linchpin. If you can take that out, the whole thing falls apart.
Yeah, it's also what Senketsu's always been absorbing.
Yep.
Whenever Ryuko fights one of the Goku people in Goku uniforms.
Yep.
And then there's also Ragyo Kiryuin.
Oh boy.
Yep. Satsuki's mom, and ultimately the villain of the entire thing. And she is, of course, the best mother in anime.
Oh, she's an absolutely perfect angel. She even glows.
Yeah.
How could she be possibly a horrible, creepy, disgusting monster?
Yeah. Yeah, she's actually, she is the actual worst.
She is not a good person.
Hardly even, you could argue she's not really even human anymore by the end of it.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing, like, she tried to infuse Satsuki when she was a baby with life fibers and totally really take very well. Then she tried to do it with Ryuko when she was newborn.
And it, quote, didn't take very well.
Yeah, so it looked like Ryuko would die, and she's like, oh, well, just make another.
Just make another. And then Nui was a thing, except Nui's was made different.
Yeah, she was born
in a womb made of life fibers.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Ryuko turns out, that was the other thing. It turns out that baby who wasn't Satsuki was actually Ryuko, because that was revealed in episode 18. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler.
About 3/4 of the way through the series, it's like, hey, by the way, Ryuko and Satsuki are siblings. Sisters. Oh no.
Oh.
Ragyo's your mom, Mariko.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like, none of them had any idea. Until it's like, till Ragyo figured it out. No boy.
Yep.
Then she reveals it by just literally ripping Ryuko's heart out. It's hey, look what your heart's made of. And then just sucks back in, heals like, oh crap.
Oh.
That's how it is.
Yep.
Which, that causes Ryuko to have a bit of a meltdown.
A bit. Yeah.
There's Ryoko's other meltdown as well.
Oh yeah, when Nui first shows up.
Yep.
Nui, that was a big one.
And kind of fuses with Senketsu into a big old monster thing that's destroying everything.
Yep. Ryuko just completely loses it.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the most powerful moments is the first transformation sequences. The very, very subtle but means a whole lot. Because whenever they transform, they always activate the suit. Or with Satsuki's suit, Junketsu, it's 3 little flaps.
Yeah. And
the flaps basically cut in to or activate like needles or something. They activate blood's flow into the suit.
Yeah.
Is what they do. That's the whole point.
Because the Kamuis use blood to power themselves.
Yep. But Senketsu, it's a glove with a wrist thing. She pulls a pin off which opens the flow and allows Senketsu to wake up and use that. But that one scene is the first time where she just gets so pissed the pin just pops.
Yeah.
And you see that it just pops right off the side. It's subtle, but it's like, oh.
And then the transformation sequence that's all messed up and
That's even later because she just gets more during the whole fight with Nui, she's just getting more and more and more pissed, and Setsuki going, stop, going bad. Stop. And then he can't hold it in anymore and turns into a monster and just goes completely crazy until Mako.
Yeah, until Mako comes along and like, it's like, no,
slaps her in the face.
Yeah. And then there's a second breakdown where Ryuko again, winds up being sewn into Junketsu, and it's a fun time there.
Yep.
And their mind being broken and everything, and
yep, that whole thing.
And once again, Mako and
Seiko literally get sucked into an open wound.
Yeah,
don't think about it.
The other thing was like Ryuko was so broken, she literally was able to just was willing to kill Mako.
Yeah,
she was broken again. So that Mako saved her again.
That was a hilarious scene when they went back in. They had the life fiber dude that he was marrying.
Yep.
Open it, ping, just knocks him over.
There's a lot of that sort of stuff. Like
that's great.
Like the bit with Mako jumping at Ryuko, and Ryuko just grabs her, spins her around a couple times, and gently
said, it was like the first time that happens. In the first episode, Mako jumps out and she just kind of slides away.
Why'd you get out of the way?
Isn't it normal to dodge things that are coming at you?
Yeah, I mean, that's the teacher guy, the undercover teacher guy. He's Mikazugi. He's a weird dude. He often will say things which are loaded phrases. Let's just say that.
Yeah,
and creep everyone out, particularly Ryuko, who's just like, I can't believe I have to work with this guy. You can tell Ryuko barely tolerates him.
Yep.
Sometimes just because he's just being so creepy and weird. She's like because her first thought is like, well, she wakes up pretty much naked in a room with him, and she's like, "What did you do?"
Yep. And is constantly calling him a perv.
Yeah, because
constant.
He can't seem to help himself. He keeps saying things and saying and doing stupid things.
I like the whole sequence when explaining nudist beach. Just did not believe it.
Why would you? It sounds so stupid.
And it's just
wait, you weren't making that up?
The end of that scene where you just kind of sadly go, but that's her actual name. Just a kind of a sad face.
Him and his pathetic robots.
Oh,
the DTRs.
DTR.
Yeah, he's very insistent on that name.
Yeah, he doesn't like the full name.
Yeah, the robots which really don't do much.
They really don't do much. By the end,
they're so outclassed. It's sad. Like, they would do this, him and the other guy do this big old combination sequence and everything, and just immediately just get bodied.
Yeah.
It's like stop. You're not helping.
Just stop.
Yeah, it's so crazy over the top and stuff. And the other thing was the other big problem, which I totally forgot about for a second, but the Ragyo and Satsuki.
That whole thing. They really let you know that she's creepy.
Ragyo pretty much rapes Satsuki.
Yeah.
It's right there. It's a full-blown scene about it, and there's an argument about what that scene in particular. There's a lot of people who argue about that scene. The argument comes down, it's either it's supposed to be titillating or it's supposed to be disturbing.
I lean more to it's supposed to be disturbing.
Yeah, that's where I see it, but a lot of people say it's supposed to be more fan service. Like, it really doesn't come across. It comes across as disturbing and like, hey, this is Ragyo is a monster.
Yeah, because that's how I see it. Is that it's there to really show you that she's not a good person. She's really, really bad.
Yeah, she doesn't really even see. She calls Satsuki her daughter, but she doesn't really see her as a daughter anymore.
Yeah,
she's just another tool. And then of course you can't really. Well, this whole thing was like, yes, so people are just simply gonna find anything sexy no matter what. There's going to be someone.
Oh yeah,
regardless. So it's like, yeah, but I feel that this one in particular is just. It is supposed to be creepy and it is creepy and disturbing.
Yeah.
And it even comes up again later on.
It comes up again when she's captured.
Yep, and naked, which is another thing. That's the other thing is when they're naked, it's often Barbie doll anatomy, which doesn't really help. But it
doesn't help.
But it's not as bad as it could have been.
Yeah. It's like again during the whole transformation sequences.
Yeah,
Barbie doll.
Yeah, it's a weird thing.
It is.
That's the thing about that is the weird thing as you watch it, if you're willing to give it a shot, that kind of just becomes noise in the sense you barely even notice anymore. It's not a thing in your head anymore. The outfits and all that stuff it's not really a thing anymore.
Yeah, and I think that like I mentioned here in the beginning, the whole idea of it, being accepting your own body.
Yeah.
For what it is and not being ashamed of it. I think that's sort of like this running thing is don't be ashamed of your body. Yep. I think that's sort of it kind of plays into it as well. Because as the show goes on, it's not just Ryuko and Satsuki, because Satsuki doesn't really care. Yeah. She knows what she has a goal. She's going to go for it. Doesn't matter what she has to do to get there. But with everything, you start seeing all these other characters. Like even at the end, everyone's naked because she takes everyone's clothes. Because she needs the life fibers to go fight Regio in space.
It makes sense in context.
Right.
I guess.
When saying it out loud, it sounds really weird, but it does make sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she takes everyone's clothes.
Everyone's naked.
And everyone's fine with it. It's...
We're saving the world here.
At that point, I mean, what you've seen up to that, everything else that they've had to go through up to that point, I think just seeing other naked people is really not a high weirdness.
I mean, there's this whole thing where it's like, initially you're thinking Satsuki's the bad guy and stuff and whatnot, but it turns out no, she's actually the good guy.
Yep.
And because it's the whole thing. It's because it keeps using that swerve.
Yep.
Eventually, we're taking when Ragyo shows up at the sports and culture festival.
Yep. That's when everything changes. That's
because like the plan is executed and they try to kill Ragyo.
Yep.
And it doesn't work.
It does not work.
And
although Satsuki does not think it was gonna work. That first strike, she knows that wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Just runs her through.
Then tries to cut her head off and like, that might nope. I didn't do it either. And then, because Satsuki also has a really special sword. And that gets broken, but Ragyo just straight up snaps it in half. Just
a Bakusan?
Yeah, Bakuzan.
Yeah, Bakuzan.
Yeah, and just
not quite in half.
Well, yeah, but she just snaps it and just snaps in two pieces.
Yep.
And it's like, that's that.
That's that. Except it wasn't.
Yeah, it came back.
Except it wasn't.
But that just shows you that, this ain't going to be enough.
Nope.
Ragyo's a lot more powerful than you realize, Satsuki.
Yeah. Well, I think at some point she did realize that, because if her plan only was to strike her down and cut her head off, then she wouldn't have had to do everything else that she did, which is the whole training all of her student soldiers and getting them used to and resistant to life fibers.
It's like,
would be unnecessary.
But still, she still underestimated Ragyo.
Yeah, she still did, but I don't think at that point. I think she assumed that it probably wasn't going to be enough and there was going to be a major battle, which is why she did everything else she did.
And the problem with the life fibers are then used to take the kids over with the covers, and then whoops.
That was not what I don't think she expected that.
Yeah, I mean, because that's whole leading up to that, because she's doing stuff like taking over other schools and whatnot, and it's like, it's because she's trying to amass an army.
Yep.
To fight this horrible thing.
Yep.
And she's just straight up lying to Ryuko because, Ryuko is a wild card, and then she had no idea how another person being in on the secret. Is this really, that would not be a good idea.
Yeah, because it was only Satsuki and the Elite Four that even knew. And
the butler and
the butler and the
butler's nephew.
Butler's nephew, yes.
Who's the sewing guy.
Sewing guy. They're the only ones who knew.
Yori.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the ones who knew because,
didn't want it getting back to our mother.
Because the whole thing was apparently teenagers are really super resistant to the influence of life fibers, because apparently once you're past 20, it's like, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the whole thing, but it's a kind of a ridiculous over the top story, and then eventually there's the battle in what was it? Was it Kyoto? I don't remember. But yeah, with the one rich guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Takarada.
Oh my god, he's amazing. Because he even got like zenny like on his teeth and stuff. He's just throwing around fake money because it's just as good as real money. And he has this big old crab mech thing, which then defeated by Sanagayama. No, not there. With the roses and everything, and that was also used earlier with the bidet. I mean, then they go the Mankanchiko family.
I can't have issues pronouncing that.
Yeah, Mankanchiko, I think, is the right one. But yeah, it's like the dad's a pervert, the son's a pervert, the dog is a pervert.
The
mother's willing to just beat the crap out of them when they do that.
The mother makes amazing food.
The mother also is willing to look at Mikasugi when he's getting naked. She's just looking. She's just taking it in because you know what? Staring. She earned this.
That was great.
Yeah, they're crazy. The back alley doctor who's only half of his patients have died. That's still bad.
That's not great.
Yeah, and the whole episode is them moving up in society because of the fight club that Mako and Ryuko make, and then Ryuko and Mako have to fight.
Status of the student determines the status of the family.
Yeah, and Ryuko and Mako have to fight, and then Mako doesn't want to do it. Ryuko's just taking because she knows eventually Mako will snap out of it.
Yep.
All that stuff.
Yep.
It's crazy, over the top, and then there's they said the carrier that Takarada bankrolled so they could go attack Kanoji Academy after Rago had taken over. And it's just
the naked soul.
Yeah.
Naked soul and naked sun.
Yeah, it's carrier. They can also fold into a knife thing, and then pure hype to fly it forward and launch it into the side of the academy.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's like I said, it's crazy and over the top, and it's ridiculous. And the thing is, again, the characters are what makes the show. Really, honestly, it's just,
it's totally character driven.
Yeah, it's the plot is dumb and ridiculous, and it's fun, but it's one of those shows that kind of it keeps building hype and doesn't stop until the end.
Yep,
the hype does not stop until the very end of the show.
It's somewhat similar to Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann.
Yeah, the Tengen Lagann is
it just keeps getting bigger.
Yeah. I mean, one of the big things is you got Ryuko just kind of learning to let go of her anger and stuff. Mako, I'm not sure, learned anything.
Yeah.
Other than that, she's gay for Ryuko, I guess.
Yep.
Satsuki was what would be a powerful moment for me was on Satsuki, because this whole time she's really full of, she's got an arrogance to her.
Yep.
She's really, she's always self-assured. She has she doesn't back down and everything. Eventually, there's a point where she actually straight up apologized to Ryuko for all the things, putting her through all this stupid stuff to test her abilities and stuff, and she actually bows and apologizes.
Yeah, that was a huge.
That's for Satsuki, that is a big deal. Satsuki never apologizes,
and to bow, to lower her head for someone else, that's
a big moment for her character. And of course, her and Ryuko trying to get used to being sisters, because you got Ryuko trying to say Ni-chan and just not working, and Satsuki's like, don't force it. Eventually, towards the end, they actually are more comfortable with it, because their whole thing is weird. It's they kind of already connected, but it was violently.
It was. Yep.
It's a whole weird thing, and of course, I also found out. I found out that apparently this anime has a particularly unusually large LGBT following, because people like to ship Ryuko and Mako together.
Yep.
Because there's at the end, Mako straight up asks Ryuko on a date. Of course, the thing with date is ambiguous when it comes to anime and stuff.
Yeah,
because
it comes into conflict though with another popular ship.
Oh yeah,
Mako and Ira.
Yeah, we'll get to all that stuff. But the thing is about there, it's like, I would also refute the whole it's platonic thing, because Mako straight up kisses Ryuko twice. Also talks about her boobs a lot.
A lot. Like whenever she goes into one of her monologues,
the monologues are the best. It's the hallelujah
with the hands, and pretty much she has two, because she's always doing hand motions and stuff to narrate her monologue. And she has two things that she always does when referring to Ryuko. Either the red hair thing is kind of tracing the red hair piece, or tracing the boobs.
Yeah,
just that's
Mako knows what she likes. Yeah, so that's a thing in of itself. Oh man, of course, the epilogue episode that was only Blu-ray.
Yeah,
supposedly Blu-ray exclusive. That whole thing was all right. Yeah, I remember that. It was it's fine, but it's like it's very much an epilogue. It's just kind of like, okay, this is what happened between the final episode and that little bit at the credits of the final episode.
Yeah.
Like,
it also ties up one little loose end.
Yeah, a couple loose ends, one or two loose ends, and
what's her name? The Ragyo's assistant.
Oh, Rei Homaru.
Oh yeah, Rei. Yeah.
She is.
What happens to her, because she kind of is there, and when the fight happens, she gets punted,
and then that's it.
And that's it.
It's like you could at that point you could have just assumed. I guess she died. She hit pretty hard.
Yeah,
but not on this one. But yeah, it's just a little thing. Just tie up loose ends. Closing things off. I guess wrapping up Satsuki's character arc. And Ryoko's kind of giving them like a little bit of final closure, like what's Satsuki gonna do now? Now that her
life's goal has just been accomplished.
Now what? And she even showing that, hey, this is her cutting the hair moment.
Oh yes,
cuts her hair short because like, okay, this is a new chapter in my life. Let's go forward. That whole thing, and yeah, even
symbolism.
Yeah, this whole
cutting the
whole
hair.
Thing. Yep, and of course then Kitsu dies.
Oh, that is so heartbreaking.
Gets destroyed at the end, and yeah, he burns up in the atmosphere, and he and Ryoko are falling to the earth, and Satsuki straight up catches Ryoko, and like everyone has to help because it hits so
hard. She's coming in so fast.
Yeah. The other thing is like you said, the shipping earlier. Mako and Ryoko is popular. Gamagori and Mako is somewhat popular because it's clear Gamagori has a little bit of a crush on the slacker.
Yeah.
As everyone mocks. And of course he says, no, shut up. Except screaming it because he's Gamagori.
Because it's Gamagori. He only has one volume and it's 11.
There's another ship that's really popular, but yeah, it's a weird one because it was one that started at the beginning of the series and became a bit of a problem by episode 18. Yeah,
it turns out they're sisters.
Yeah, Ryoko and Satsuki. That was a very popular ship because everyone loves the enemies to friends to lovers and stuff. It's like it's perfect. It's a rivalry and everything. Hate. There's a fine line between hate and love.
Oh, wait.
I was all set. I was all ready. I was on board that train, and then I had to jump off.
So many people were going to be on. It's like, yes, yeah. Oh, wait, no. That jump changes off that things.
Yeah, so yeah, it was a
Not
it was a
going
problem.
there.
The problem is, because
I looked onto that train.
I looked at some old fan stuff back then. It's like you can just see just like this lots of Ryoko and Satsuki stuff, and then it just stops just for a while, and then it comes back because some people want. You know what? I'm still going to do it.
Yep.
I've seen that a lot of people just trying desperately to engineer AUs where they're not sisters. Shut up.
They're not. The universe is wrong. My ship is better.
I need my ship. Yeah, it is what it is. It's like sometimes you just can't get what you want. And if you really want that slap kiss thing, you can totally do Ryoko and Chakazuri. They snipe at each other constantly, so you can easily use that if you really want that dynamic.
If you want the sniping being your ship fuel, then you can ship pretty much anyone with Chakazuri because she snipes at everyone. She is a sassy little child. Not Satsuki.
Never Satsuki,
but she sasses everyone.
Yep. So that's if you want that, I've seen that. I've also seen several fanfics where it's like Nui is like the Psycho X of Ryoko, which in context kind of works. You're gonna do an AU, that works with the character if you want to still have Nui be crazy. So, Psycho X.
She'd totally be a yandere.
So that's a fun time. Like I said, it's a fun time if you can get past the gross fan service. It's fun. That's the thing, is the fan service is going to turn a lot of people away, and for good reason.
Yes,
it's not great.
Yeah, that's I was able to get past it. And like you mentioned earlier, if you're able to get past it in the initial parts and watch it, it starts to become like a non-thing. It's still there,
which someone could also argue that in and of itself is a problem.
It could be, but it's like you don't notice it anymore. You don't think about it. It's just not. It fits.
It just is.
It just is, and it's like it's just part of the story now.
Heck, I bought a Figma of Ryoko.
Of the Figma too.
I have the Figma, and it's like, it's kind of.
You look at it and you think about it, like, it's
not great, but at the same time, I like the show a lot. That's the problem. It's like it's my most problematic fave.
Yes,
it's one of my favorite animes. It's also super problematic, and I can totally understand if people are like, no, I'm not going to watch it. It's gross. I get it. I'm not going to try to tell you to force you.
You're not wrong.
I would not try to convince you at that point. It's like if you think it's gross, then that's it. Yeah, I get it. I'm not going to try to argue on that.
But but
if you get past it, it's great. It's a fun ride.
It is. I think this was also one of the first real animes that I've watched.
Yeah.
That you introduced me to, and I think it was.
We're gonna watch Kill la Kill.
I was like, all right,
You're all like, oh,
what is this? What is this? So, and then you know, a few episodes in, it's like, okay, halfway through, I'm invested.
Yeah. I remember you tried to predict how the anime was going to go, and you're so completely wrong. That was hilarious.
That was something I was going to mention too. Is it feels like the show sets you up to predict how it's going to go, just so it can slap you in the face and say you're wrong. It sets it up as like, okay, this is how it's going to go. Nope, guess what?
Yeah.
Gear shift.
You're changing that.
Something new came up.
Yeah, but yeah, there's also I know the game is coming out in a few weeks. It's I'm not sure how that's going to be. It's an 3D arena fan. I might go ahead and buy it. I don't know. I kind of want to play it, but like, you know, it's like one of those things like this is you're kind of striking when the iron's ice cold, guys. It was funny because the announcement trailer even kind of had a little apology thing at the end. It was like, yeah, we know it took a long time.
Yeah.
Because people have been asking for a Kill la Kill game for a while, and now it's finally happening. Like, what took so long? I would love to ask, like, why did it take you guys so long to make a game capitalizing on this? It was super popular. Now people...
and that you kind of missed your...
But anyway, I don't know. Because Kill la Kill's getting a weird resurgence, so I have no idea what's going on there. Like, Mako's getting that Figma, this game...
I think it's popular enough, and there's enough people that like it, that if you start, you could basically bring stuff back from it at any time, and it'll cause a resurgence. Yeah. Just because there's so many people who really like it and want more.
Yeah, who knows? They might be some. I'm not sure how the heck they do more show episodes or anything. Because like it was pretty
merchandise and other things.
Like it's theoretically possible because like Rago's whole thing is like there's more out there, and they'll be coming back.
Yeah, you could have a thing like. The
Kill la Kill in space.
We already had Kill la Kill in space. That was the final episode.
But more in space, not just in the upper atmosphere.
We'll have the naked spaceship.
Oh no!
Naked space cruiser.
Naked Soul 2.
Naked Soul 2, and it's actually a spaceship, not a boat.
Yeah.
Yes,
I have no
but
idea.
We don't have Senketsu Shippu anymore. Senketsu's gone, so how are we going to fly around in
the other
space?
thing, Ryuko and Senketsu are sometimes shipped together, which is like...
I guess...
Sure, whatever. You know what? I don't care anymore. Do you?
They were really close.
Literally and figuratively.
Yes. I mean, you couldn't get any closer because of the one scene.
Cut this thing short.
Inside of...
We're actually kind of running a little long.
It's so good.
Yeah, it is really good if you can get past fan service stuff. It is super problematic, but if you can get past the problems, it's still fun. I think a fun ride.
So much fun.
It's a big, stupid, fun ride, and I love it.
It is. I absolutely love it.
And that's it for that. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found some sort of something out of this. Something out of this nonsense. If you did enjoy, you can listen to past and future episodes on newtoweeaboo.libsyn.com. It's spelled Libsyn. All of them are linked there with an RSS feed and all that stuff. You can also, see all the links at the top of that one. If you, want to go to other sources, we got Google Play, iTunes, and Spotify, as well as YouTube. If you want those first three, iTunes, Google Play, and Spotify, you can search for New to Weeaboo and find us there and subscribe. Same for YouTube. Search for New to Weeaboo and like, comment, and subscribe, and all that stuff. If you want to contact us, newtoweeaboo@gmail.com. Questions, comments, and criticisms, and suggestions for anime to watch, all that stuff. You can, do all that. No big deal. It's easy to do. Or you can contact us on Twitter at newtoweeaboo. See us tweet there. Sometimes follow us, whatever. Or there's also our personal Twitters. I'm at Nemesis Prime 1. He's at Alcatraz with a 717 and an _ at the end. Big revelation on mine.
Hey.
Not that big if you've been paying attention, but whatever. That's it for this one. Tune in next month. We will be talking about Neon Genesis Evangelion. I hope that's pronounced correctly.
Evangelion.
I keep hearing two different ways to pronounce it, so I have no idea.
Yep.
Yeah, so tune in. We'll be talking about it. We'll be getting in the goddamn robot, so see ya.